G'day guys, this is Tier and welcome back to another Fallout 76 video. This time I will be dipping my toes into the world of PvP to help all of the newer players and seasoned veterans alike. You might learn something new from this series or it might be a waste of your time. Let's find out and get straight into it. So the PvP scene is facing a problem. A problem Bethesda has been aware of for months and they have still done nothing to fix it. I'm of course talking about the quote-unquote God mode glitch. This God mode glitch is basically just invulnerability, and in this video I will be explaining exactly what this entails, how people get put into it, how to spot if someone is actually in God mode, and most importantly, how to kill someone in God mode. Yes, you heard right, it is possible to kill someone in God mode. Firstly, God mode is activated during PvP. There are multiple ways to trigger it. The most common ways are being killed by yourself or someone that has Bloody Mess perk equipped. This happens because sometimes when you die by this, your body basically explodes into 1,000 little giblets, and the game doesn't quite know how to process your character respawning if you just got blown into 1,000 pieces by Bloody Mess. Similarly, you can be put into God mode if you are killed by energy weapons. If your character is ghoulified or ash-piled, it's pretty much the same concept. The game just doesn't know what to do with your character once you've been turned into a pile of goo or ash. And while it doesn't happen every time you get ghoulified or ash-piled, it still is one of the causes. Now, there are other ways people have encountered ways to enter God mode, but those have been isolated instances and are extremely rare, so I feel that they don't need to be touched on. But having said that, apparently there is another way that causes God mode. When you kill a player and shoot their quote-unquote ghost body whilst they respawn, that has been speculated to cause God mode as well. Before we get to know how to spot a God mode player, I would like to point out an in-game mechanic that is sometimes mistaken for God mode. I would like to touch on that in this video. What I'm talking about is as soon as a player respawns and seeks revenge after being killed, while their weapon is holstered, they will have a 15-second grace period called respawn invincibility. People often confuse this with God mode, but it is just a simple in-game mechanic to avoid spawn killing, and it is broken as soon as the player pulls out a weapon. Just so that is cleared up, to not cause confusion, let's get into it. Now, how do you know if someone is in God mode, you ask? Simple. A good indicator is if they are permanently on fire. Blue or orange, it doesn't matter. So if someone on your team was using a fire-inducing weapon like a beta wave laser rifle combined with Bloody Mess, tell them to stop shooting for a little bit. If the fire doesn't dissipate in 20 seconds or more, and they take no health damage from other firearms like a handmade, then that's a great indicator that they are in God mode. In some cases, when a player was blown apart by Bloody Mess, they may have a respawned with disfigured gore faces and or limbs that the player will be able to see in first person and third person mode. This is another great indicator that they may be in God mode, but having said this, it doesn't always mean you're invincible. You may have the gore face but not be invincible. But obviously, the guaranteed way to spot a God mode player is if you shoot them with everything you have and they take 0 damage. And I mean absolutely 0 damage. If their health bar does not move a single bit whatever you throw at them, then obviously that is a God mode player, and he or she is using it to their unfair advantage during PvP. Players that do this intentionally are without a doubt basement dwellers that have never spoken to a female, so be sure to let them know that. Some of you might not even realise this is a bug or a thing in general, and you may have been put into God mode by yourself or by accident, and continued playing. Usually if someone is in God mode, the players usually spawn back white, not seeking revenge, and give the thumbs down emote to let you know that you are in fact in God mode. If you see this, then the player probably thinks or knows someone they are fighting is using God mode either by accident or on purpose. Now that you know how players are getting into God mode and how to spot it, let's explain what it actually is. Whilst the player is in this glitch, they will be unable to take damage and won't be able to fast travel. They also will not be able to initiate PvP, so they will have to have someone on their team to start a fight so that they can finish it. That is also another great indicator to spot it. If you shoot them and they're not in pacifist, and it does not come up as attacking or under attack, that's another great indicator. Now, most of the PvP community are actually good sports and log out of the game to break this glitch when they realize they are in God mode. But you do have the odd fuckhead that stays in and uses God mode glitch to his advantage. In this video I will be showing you all the ways you can actually kill or disable a player in God mode. Firstly, and most effectively, is bleed damage. For whatever reason, this is the only form of damage that actually affects players in this glitch. You could use a melee weapon that inflicts bleed damage, but this will most likely not be very effective as the glitch player will probably still be trying to kill you. The general consensus is that you should use a bleed out syringer to inflict bleed damage from afar. If you shoot them with enough syringes from this rifle, the bleed damage will stack to a certain point where it is impossible for them to survive. This is the absolute best way I've seen God mode players being effectively countered and eliminated. A far less effective way to kill someone in God mode is to launch a nuke on them. As we all know, players in God mode are unable to fast travel, so you could get lucky and kill them with a nuke, but they will most likely not stay in the nuke radius. Unless you use this in tandem with the next tip, it could be quite effective and hilarious. If a player that you are fighting is confirmed God mode, then a sneaky little tactic I've seen, get one of your friends to bait him with a nasty message, so he stops and replies. He will most likely stop what he is doing and not be phased because he knows he is invincible, like the cuck he is. And whilst he is replying to your friend's message, you could place your camp module nearby the player and cover him with a wooden floor foundation. And any other unbreakable camp objects. Because as we know, they are unable to fast travel whilst in God mode. So this literally removes the subject from the fight and essentially puts them in a timeout, unable to do anything unless they log out and log back in, which again, logging out and back in into the world breaks the glitch. Like I said previously, this could be used in tandem with a nuke launch. Whilst the player is trapped, launch a nuke, and if they die or relog, mission successful. I'm still experimenting with PvP myself, trying to get the best build I possibly can, so that I can show off PvP guides, tips and tricks to the average player and veterans alike. If any of you know any more information about God mode players that I somehow missed in this video, please let me know in the comments below, I'd love to hear it. Thank you all so much for watching. I've been Tia, and this has been the first episode of PvP Lessons. Be sure to leave a like and even subscribe if you enjoyed. Catch you in the next one. Peace.